Welcome, everybody. And thank you for your presence today. I'm so grateful. What a beautiful weather, isn't it? I love the weather, the way it is today, especially. And we have the shade here, so that's good. I was thinking there'll be a lot of sun, but surprisingly, so that's wonderful. I want you to think about this quote from St. Francis, and I hope I can quote it right. What you're looking for depends from where you're looking from. What you are looking for depends from where you are looking from. Let me explain. So there are different layers to our being, right? On the top level, actually, is our cosmic body. Okay? The cosmic body is, you can think of it as the source. The source. Some people call it God, divinity, consciousness. In the yogic traditions, Aham Brahman. In other traditions, I am all that is. So there is this all-pervasive consciousness, which you can call it the source, the force, divinity, God. It is indivisible. It's all-pervasive. It has no beginning, no end, no edges, no fences. It never stopped. It's never going to stop. I am all that is. Everywhere you look, it is source. You are cut from the same cloth that source is. Okay? So the source is your top layer, and then the source converts into energy, which is called in Chinese traditions qi. In yogic traditions, it's called prana. And in other traditions, it's called the spirit. So we all have that energetic layer as well. So the source is your top layer. Then the source converts into energy. And that energy converts into, the formless converts into a form. Form of you and you and you and you and me. But make no mistake, we're cut from the same cloth, the source, which, by the way, is indivisible. So when this form is created of you and me, it's not fragmented. It is complete because source is indivisible. It's not like an amputated part of the source is you and an amputated part is me. No, you're still whole. You're still complete. You are, I am all that is. Okay? It's not just a spark in you. You are all of it. You're all of it. For example, think of the drop of water in the ocean. The drop of water thinks, and the drop of water is freaking out. Oh my God, I'm going to evaporate any minute. I'm going to be eviscerated. I'm going to be in the waves and I'll go crashing on the beach and that'll be the end of me. But if the water would just see, if the drop of water could see that it has access to the whole ocean. It is the whole ocean, right? It's not just a drop of water. It is the whole ocean. So, what you're looking for depends from where you're looking at. If you think you're the drop of water, and that's it. And if you choose to ignore the whole other side of you, which is actually phenomenal, which is I am all that is, which is your divinity, your spirit, then you're really you're sabotaging yourself. You're removing yourself away from that power, that force. So what you're looking for, if it is you're seeking enlightenment, if you're seeking spiritual awakening, if you're seeking mental or physical healing, if you're seeking to heal yourself from traumas, from addictions, from depression, from anxiety, from self-loathing, from just about anything that's the human predicament that we all have, then remember, if you try to seek it only from this idea of who you are, that little drop of water, then it's going to be insurmountable for you. Yes, you can go into 20 years of therapy. You can do counseling, and I don't deny all of these are important. You can do a lot of shadow work. All of that is equally important. But if you also allow yourself to remember the whole other side of you and try to figure out your problems by remembering that part of you as well, then you will notice you'll be releasing your problems faster. But we understand this to some level where we think that the source is separate from us, but it's not. You're cut from the same cloth. There's no separation. So what happens is, as we grow up, right? I've been given a name. My first school, my first teacher, the first candy that I like. And as I grow older, my friends and the society, my family, my siblings. As I further grow older, what I like, what I don't like, what are my values, what are my political values. I start to build this fence around me, these layers of conditioning that creeps up on me, right? So I've started to build this fence, which is important, this kind of a identity you need to navigate this earth plane. It's called the egoic mind. You need this identity. But the problem becomes for all of us is when we choose to identify only with this boxed-in character, the one that has all the labels and the identities. In my 20s and 30s, we typically are all set with who we are. What I like, what is going to piss me off, what's going to let me walk out of a room, what are my political opinions. We really know who we are. We've so made up our mind about our own identity. So we've boxed ourselves in so much that we start to believe that this is all who we are. Okay? So again, going back to the quote, what you're looking for depends from where you're looking at. If you're looking at from the perspective of this boxed-in person called Barkha or Susan, then your perspective is going to be just about this limited being, and your things that you want to work on or want to manage them or want to release them. It's going to be so much harder for you. So I guess what I'm saying is that I really believe in practical spirituality. I really do. I think we need to apply our spirituality constantly. And this is one strong way to remember and remind yourself that you are, I am, all that is. You're not just this drop of water or this fenced-in character that the society has put upon you and you've put upon yourself. You're much more than that. So choose to have a looser identity. Don't be so stuck on your opinions. Don't become too rigid. This is my religion. This is my race. This is who I am. This is my political opinion. This is me. No. If you want to evolve, if you really want to work on yourself, you need to keep these lines a little blurred. Your boundaries need to blur. And the way to do that is through meditation and to remind yourself of your whole other part. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. That's where you came from. So don't forget that cosmic layer. The cosmic layer and the energetic layer, and then the emotional layer, and then the physical layer. Okay? But we are only aware of our physical layer and our emotional layer. But we are not really aware of our energetic layer and our cosmic layer. But those two are where we came from. And so those two need to be nurtured and remembered and worked on if you really want your emotional and your physical layer to thrive, if you want to lead your life with creativity and vibrantly, that's a word, I don't know. Yeah, and in full vitality, then you need to know how to work with those two layers of yours as well. Okay, that makes sense. So that is why we do these chakra meditations. That is why chakra meditation is so powerful and so important from time to time, because these are the energy centers. That's the energy layer of ours. These are the energy centers in our body. And so you want to do your chakra meditation at least once a month to heal those blockages, to remind yourself that, hey, I am prana. I am actually prana shakti. I am the chi. The spirit moves in me and through me. And so I want to make sure the spirit is not captured in a blocked way, and it moves freely through me so I can experience this life. Because it really is your birthright. It is your spiritual birthright to understand this energy and to work with this energy, not to keep it blocked in the first 3 centers of your body. So there are 7 chakras, and I know all of you know because we've done it. So I'm going to go really fast. And if Tammy and Tanya, I think you guys have not. So you need to go on my YouTube channel, and there is this video called Chakras Demystified, where I go into a lot of detail about each chakra and what they do. So please take 15 minutes of your walking time and just tune in, listen to it. It's going to be very helpful for your meditations, all right? But anyway, so we have these 7 chakras in our body, right? So the first chakra is called the root chakra, and it is situated between your perineum and the anus. So it's exactly there. That's the root chakra. And then is below your navel is your sacral chakra. And then above your navel and below your rib cage is your solar plexus. Just remember these locations, okay? Because in your meditation, you're going to be focusing on these areas of your body, right? So above your navel and below your rib cage is your 3rd energy center, which is the solar plexus. Now, these first 3 energy centers are very important for us. And if you remember the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, they kind of really fit in that pyramid. Shelter, protection, safety, food, family. All of these are important. Procreation is important for our living. But what happens is they're also survival centers. In fact, the root chakra is where your flight and fight response is also there. So anyway, what happens with us is most of our life, our energy is situated in these first 3 centers. We live and die in these first 3 survival centers. We live and die by our egoic identity, our egoic boxed-in person that we created. And we don't get a chance to evolve. We don't get a chance to move up to these energy centers, which is very powerful, which connects you to your divine. But you're so lost in these survival centers, you live and die by them. And so chakra meditations do something really amazing. They help you release this captured energy here, this captive energy that wants to get out and move freely because that's its nature. But you've kind of held it trapped into this egoic mind of yours, this identity so closely that it's hard for it to move up. And so doing these chakra meditations helps you activate this energy and help it move upwards. And when it moves upwards, that's when your true transformation really begins. You start to open your heart when it goes to your heart center. When it goes to your throat, you understand other people and yourself better. You communicate freely with kindness and more wisdom, right? And then when this energy goes up to your 3rd eye, which could be the forehead or the back of your head, that is when you really start to build on your psychic abilities. Because always remember this, you are a spiritual being. That's the cloth that you came from. So you are all knowing yourself. you are whole and complete. So you're very aware. You have these powerful insights and intuitions, but the energy hasn't moved up there. So you're not able to access them. But with chakra meditation, you can actually activate your third eye as well. And you can build this skill of receiving insights and intuition. And this is not woohoo that I'm talking, guys. This is real stuff. This is real. You will build this power in you. And it's really is a game changer. And I'm not talking about winning a lottery or something. I'm talking about living this life fully in a way that is extraordinary for you. Okay, so the third eye, and then when it goes up, it's the divine radar, literally, where a lot of few enlightened souls do make it up there. When that opens up, then you realize who you really are. You become one with everything, and I am all that is. It's a divine integration. So that's the power of chakras. The beauty of this chakra system is that it is exactly, the location is exactly where your endocrine glands are as well. So for example, your root chakra is on your adrenal glands, and the sacral chakra and the solar plexus, the sacral is on your reproductive glands. The solar plexus is on your pancreatic glands, on your kidney glands, all of that. So, and your heart is, the heart produces what kind of hormones? Thymus, thank you. The thymus glands. So it's really, the location is on your endocrine system, and your endocrine system is what produces hormones, and hormones is what regulates your bodily systems. Okay? And if your body systems are regulated, then guess what? Your organs are also healthy. So it has a powerful health benefit as well. Okay? So the heart, it has a thymus and your throat chakra, it is thyroid and parathyroid glands, right? And here on your third eye, it's the pineal gland, which is actually okay. I mean, it does secrete melatonin, which helps you sleep. But if you wake up around 4 a.m. and start to meditate, that little drowsiness of your melatonin, it actually transforms into crazy abilities. Your psychic abilities start to develop so much if you meditate around 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m. Yeah, try it. Try it sometimes. Just see what happens. And I know sometimes you'll just doze off, but it's okay. I mean, take all this, like, be a scientist in your life, right? And whatever I say, validate it by doing it through direct experience. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe anybody, anything. Believe yourself through your direct experience, through your meditation. All right? So these are the powerful chakras. And I was thinking we should do the chakra meditation today. I know I went a little roundabout, but I hope it made sense. Did it make sense, guys? But you see what I'm saying? What you're looking for depends from where you're looking at. If you think you are that little drop of water, then life is going to be much more harder for you. So try to move your observation and your thinking to, hey, I'm also that. I'm also that, which means I'm limitless. Right? I'm sorry? I'm just wondering those questions. Okay. Are there any questions or any comments? Anything? Yes, of course.
I was recently listening to this one person talking about neurodivergent people and how their chakras on the first upper chakras are more activated than the lower ones.
Oh, goodness. Wow.
And I just kind of wanted to see your opinion, right, on what that means, because they were saying that they instead need to work on their lower chakras instead of their upper ones.
Wow.
To prevent, like,
to ground themselves.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know if if anyone has any comments on that. I just thought it was interesting.
That's interesting. I mean, what I know about the chakra system is that to rise to the higher chakras, you first need to be grounded and stable and protected and loved, like the Maslow hierarchy, because it's hard to go to a spiritual transformation without your own personal transformation. The road to spiritual success goes through personal transformation, basically. But I don't know. Yeah, could be interesting. Yeah. Anybody else? Anything?
So how does it manifest itself? Like, how would you know if you're elevating to other levels of chakra, or yeah, how does it manifest itself? How do you see this?
Oh, yeah. You know that when your heart starts to open, so elevating to your chakras is an interesting journey. When you come to the heart, you will find yourself more connected with people. You will definitely have, because that's the gratitude, empathy, compassion. You will know. You start to build on those qualities a lot more. You feel your separation from others blurring at that point. And then probably you could say, yes, I feel all that, but I feel this too, the lower chakras too. And that's life. That's our humanness. We're going to feel, the survival centers as well, those emotions as well. And we are also going to feel powerful emotions as well. But the person who works on themselves is working on how to cultivate the powerful emotions. And that's how you stay elevated in your chakras. To stay elevated in your chakras is you have to go through your heart. And when the heart is open, that's when you experience all these amazing, powerful emotions. And that is the vocabulary that these chakras understand. Powerful emotions. That's the language of the soul. Right. So what I've noticed is, like, this Saint Francis of Assisi quote is so powerful for me. And it's just a constant reminder. It's like the voice in my head comes and says, just throws the quote back in my head and says, okay, so let's say, for example, I and myself and Paresh, we both are having a conversation, and somehow the conversation gets heated up, right? And then before I know it, I'm judging you, and I'm already assuming the worst about you in so many ways. And that is when this quote will come in handy, because suddenly, if I remember what I'm looking for depends on where I'm looking from. If I am looking from the angle of source, then he and me were the same people. It's my right hand and my left hand. So why am I feeling the separation? That's my ego that's creating the separation, or the anger, or the judgment towards him. But if I move my perspective, if I shift my perspective from the egoic mind and move it to the source, just try this out. You will notice you will dissolve your anger in a couple of minutes. Your judgment will go faster than you'll be like, what happened? You have to try this. You have to shift your perspective into remembering that you're also the source. You're not just this physical body. That's a very limited aspect of you. You've got this whole other thing going that you choose to ignore. Okay? And so the judgment is not a judgment. It's like my neighbor, I'm not saying my neighbor does that, but for example, my neighbor has to mow the lawn every Saturday, 6 a.m. What's wrong with him? Stuff like that just start to build up, the little pet peeves that we have. And then one fine Saturday morning, you'll be like, okay, it's just a sound. I'm getting used to it. Not a big deal. Why? Because you moved your perspective to the other side. There's a whole part of you that's pretty powerful. That doesn't care for this. That doesn't have to feed this egoic mind. See, this egoic mind works when you constantly feed it what it wants. That's the whole point. Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, calls this egoic mind the pain body. Read that book. Read that book, all of you. Read it. And so what we end up doing is we keep feeding this pain body. Whatever it wants, we give it. Judgment here, oh, I don't like this, so there'll be resistance. You'll do what this egoic mind wants, but you're feeding sometimes a monster. So be careful. Okay?